can be easy to read today's gospel, to hear this story, and be a bit confused as to why Jesus is acting so out of character. It's not like how he normally interacts with those who come to him, especially when they come to him in need. And of course, even though it might seem on the surface that perhaps Jesus was in a bad mood this day and wasn't in the mood to deal with someone, and yet she persisted, we know, of course, that being the Son of God, being free of sin, and everything he did being divinely, of course, inspired, since he is the divine, obviously something more is going on here. He is working through this circumstance, this woman, to teach his apostles, and by extension all of us, something incredibly important about the power of persistence in prayer. So first of all, it's important to note that this also means for us, look at it in the context of our own instances of turning to Christ to ask for something, to ask him to intercede for something. And I know there are times where we think, I'm not asking for anything extraordinary, to win the lottery or something outrageous, but rather something which we know is good. This woman coming to him and asking him to heal her daughter, afflicted, needing deliverance, needing to be set free, is of course a good thing, something which God himself wants to help with. And so she comes and she asks. That word ask, you can also translate as pray. She prays that this happens directly to him. And at first, he gives her no reply. There is a divine silence, it seems, to her intercession. And again, putting this in the context of our own experiences, how often have we genuinely and earnestly prayed for something, asked for something which we know is good, and yet it seems the prayer falls on deaf ears. There is no reply. Perhaps we've asking for someone that we love to be set free from an affliction, an illness, something difficult, something in our own lives that we wish to be free of, something that we ourselves are suffering with, or perhaps a difficulty in overcoming a sin that we ask again and again to be set free of and yet seem to fall into again and again. Perhaps it's simply asking for something good in our lives. Help me to find the one that I'm supposed to marry, to fulfill a vocation I feel called to, or help me understand what the vocation is you have for me. Make it easy for me to understand where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do, whatever it is. How often have we ourselves prayed and it seems we are met with mere silence? And yet, as we hear in this gospel, the point of this that Christ is trying to make is, if that's what it seems like, keep praying, persist. Continue your spiritual practice. It's not that Christ didn't hear her, he just didn't answer right away. He's going to answer her in his own time. And then comes the second part, perhaps the most difficult part. When he finally does acknowledge, when it seems that she receives only a slap in the face, an insult, he turns to his apostles, who presumably were also somewhat shocked by this, as she's standing there and says, I came for the house of Israel. It's not good for the dogs to receive the food meant for the children. You can almost imagine the apostles looking at each other like, did he just call her a dog? He's never done that before. Why is he doing this? How often, too, as we are praying for something, does it seem like things only get worse? Not a silence, but almost a progression of what we're trying to pray for to cease. A sort of slap in the face. Please help someone or myself be free of an affliction that only gets worse. Or whatever it is, we see this is not going the way that I want. I've tried everything. Nothing is working. Maybe it seems like I should just give up. God either doesn't care, isn't paying attention, or it seems to be only making things worse. And of course, what does this gospel tell us? Even in that, especially in that, persist. Persist in prayer. Trust that God is hearing. Trust that in his time and in his providence, he will answer our prayers. Maybe not in the way we expected, maybe not in the way we would have liked in the moment, but always in a way that is better, in accord with his providence. He is the one who created all things. He is the one who knows all things. And he will answer prayers in the way that he knows will best serve us. Once read about when they discovered Mother Teresa's journal, how she herself had gone through nearly 40 years of this, a seemingly silence in response to her prayers, desperately looking for a feeling of consolation and receiving only a spiritual dryness. 40 years of persistence in that so that God could show this saint, look how I've always been with you. And at the end of her life, finally experiencing that breakthrough and realizing that he brought her along with a sort of passion along with him because he knew and trusted that she would persist. Persistence in prayer is the Christian life. When it feels like we're not being heard, we show up anyways. We turn to him anyways. And we place ourselves trustingly in his hands anyways. And I love how this ends because, of course, after he says the line about the dogs, she immediately quips back. Yes, but even the dogs receive the food that falls from the table. You can almost picture him hearing that, turning to the apostles and smiling, knowing, look at this one, look at the faith she has. Undeterred by my silence, undeterred by what seemed to be a rebuke, and now her prayer is answered. Her daughter is healed. She goes forth strengthened, and as he says the same thing to all of us, I always heard you, and I always will answer what you seek. Trust and continue in the practice that I have given you, and know that I am with you always.